something told me leaving the house that I was gonna crash the bike at some point in time tonight.
Conscious.
Yo, what is going on, Dank fam? It's your boy Mike Diesel. I'm like losing my voice all of a sudden. I was like sick a couple weeks ago, and I think I'm starting to get sick again, which is great. So bear with me, I'm losing my voice, but you guys see the title of the video. It's not clickbait, I'm gonna get to that point, but I wanted to sneak in some updates for you guys as well with the channel and everything that's going on. So a lot of you guys are in the Patreon for the giveaway bike. For those of you that have been tuning in on the giveaway bike on Patreon, what's going on with that is I pretty much have all the parts on hand for the build. So one of the first parts I ordered was a steel frame for the giveaway bike. This company is like one of the best companies to get a steel frame from, but one of the downsides with them is that they take a lot of time to go ahead and send you out your frame. So literally it was one of the first parts I ordered for the giveaway bike, but I'm currently waiting on the steel frame to come in, and then we can start getting it painted and putting it all together. My original deadline for the bike to be finished was February 14th, being Valentine's Day, but we're gonna have to push it to my second deadline, which was St. Patrick's Day. The middle of March is when I was looking to finish it. So basically, if I want to finish this bike for St. Patrick's Day, I gotta get this frame back soon, and we just basically gonna have to hustle and spend like a couple weeks straight just building this bike, taking our time, but also speeding up the process, trying to get it done. Another big sound like a method. Another update though, I didn't know how my plans were going to be this year as far as if I was staying local, if I'd be doing a lot more traveling this year, but I've decided that I'm going to be selling my truck and working towards getting a moto van. That way I can travel more comfortably and more efficiently. So with that, the first trip that I plan on taking is spring break ride next month over in Texas. I've been there 2 years straight, and the moto store actually was able to sponsor me with a bike to ride over there. So I'll have a fresh DRZ 400 waiting for me when I get to Texas. My flight on the UK trip got canceled, so I had to stay there an extra couple days. One of the biggest things about that trip that made it so great is just hanging out with all the rock people and just all the company that I had. Whether business or just kicking around, these guys are really awesome to hang out with, so it was really nice to spend some quality time with the squad and get to know the team a lot better.
Right by the Houses of Parliament, we are here to show Dank Big Ben. It's totally marvellous.
So I guess this is like a story time, basically explaining to you guys how, I'll just get right to the point, guys. A couple weeks ago, I crashed my 2019 Ninja, and I haven't really been telling anybody. I told my Patreon family the day after it happened. I basically crashed the bike, and just everything on my plate right now going on, I didn't want to just sit around and look at it the whole time, so I just brought it to my dad's house here and just kept it in storage. So basically today is the first day that I'll be pulling the bike out. I haven't really looked at it fully yet to see how bad the damages are, but the crash is pretty substantial as far as how it happened. The funny part is, man, like, this is my pride and joy, this bike. I try to be as responsible as I can on this bike because having a stunt bike, it's nice to have one bike that's fully clean and stock and just turnkey, ready to roll. So I'm at a point right now where my stunt bike's in better running order than my stock 636 is right now, and it's pretty sad because that bike was so mint, and this one freak accident ended up making me mess the bike up pretty good. So I kind of break it down for you guys. So I was in the living room one night, and my buddies were all heading out to go on a group ride, and it was a mini bike ride, so it was a bunch of Groms and everything else, and I don't have a Grom, so my friends were like, yo, do you want to come? And I was sitting on the couch, and I remember sitting there thinking on the couch, man, I don't want to sit at home and waste my night, so I might as well go on a group ride and kind of hang out with the boys. And something told me, leaving the house, coming to my dad's to pick the bike up, that I was gonna crash the bike at some point in time tonight. So even though I had those thoughts, I was kind of reluctant to go ride, but I still went to my dad's, picked up the bike, and started to go on the ride. And being a Grom ride, everybody's doing about 40-45 miles an hour the whole time, so I'm in the complete back of the pack, just cruising on my 636 while everybody's up front doing wheelies and stuff on the Grom. The ride ended up being 2 hours long, and then my local group of buddies ended up splitting off from Tampa and riding all the way back to our house. So when we're pulling into the neighborhood, there's two different ways you can come into the neighborhood. There's like the normal road that's got all these street lights guiding you around, or there's a back road that has no street lights at all, and it's just like a shortcut to get in the neighborhood. So I never take the back road personally, but Dude, my voice is like, bah, bah. So we took the back road, the shortcut way. I'm the second in the lead, and my buddy's on the right-hand side on a Supermoto, and there's a bunch of people in the back of us. I'm riding. It's pitch black. We can't see anything. I look back to make sure the whole pack's still with us, and as soon as I look forward, that's when we were turning left, and the guy in front of me was on the right-hand side of me, so he started to turn left, and I had some speed going, so I'm getting ready to collide with him. As I'm trying to stop, mid-turn, he looks like a deer in the headlights, and he's like staring at me and doesn't move. He stops mid-turn, and I'm just coming head on, locking my rear brake up, so my back tire starts to slide, and I'm still feathering the front brakes, but it still wasn't slowing me down enough, so I'm slowly sliding into him. As soon as I go to T-bone the Supermoto, as I'm sliding with my brakes, all I could think to do is squeeze the front brake the rest of the way, and it literally front flips me over top of the Supermoto, and the bike lands on top of me. My shoulder and my knee got pretty messed up. Nothing too major because I had my riding jacket, my riding pants on, everything else. So literally the subframe of the bike broke landing on top of my shoulder, and knocked the wind out of me because I went to stand up and like fell back to the ground because I had no breath left in me. So that happened at like midnight in the middle of the neighborhood, and it was like dead quiet, and just I've never had something like that happen before, where someone pulls out in front of me and, you know, I don't have enough time to stop. And the good thing about it is that I didn't take out the other rider, and so it's a pretty humbling experience, you know. Like I've crashed wheelies, I think I've crashed like taking turns and stuff like that, but I've never crashed flipping a stoppie like that, trying to avoid another rider. And some might say it's kind of his fault for just stopping mid-turn as he's seen me coming towards him, because all I needed was for him to go faster or stay back, and I would have picked his direction to go around him. But he literally stopped right in front of me and froze up and didn't really know what to do, and as a result, you know, the bike did a complete front flip. Luckily, his bike didn't get destroyed or anything like that. He's got like a couple scuffs on the frame of the bike, but literally there's no damage to his bike besides a couple of scuffs on it. So that's one good way of looking at it. Didn't hurt my friend in the process. I got a little banged up myself, but everything's fine. So now that we got that story out of the way, yeah, with everything going on, I went straight home, didn't even look at the bike, brought it to my dad's to keep it stored away because I had all these trips planned, and I didn't want to like be looking at a broken bike, just kind of being all miserable and stuff like that. So I guess like when you have a brand new bike like that, just a mint condition, expensive bike like that, you kind of like instantly you would think like, man, he's probably so mad right now. But like I kind of just laughed it off, people, because I mean, something told me while I was sitting on the couch before I even decided to go out and ride that I would be crashing my bike that night. And having those kind of thoughts are really sketchy, but that's why I rode the way I did the entire night, just taking it calm and casual. And then who would have thought that 2 seconds away from my driveway, I flipped my bike in the neighborhood. Like, man, so all you can do is just laugh about it, like, geez. That's basically what happened. I'm gonna show you guys what the bike looks like, since I haven't personally even had a chance to look at it yet, and we're gonna assess the damage. I had the decision just to pretty much replace all the original parts with all new original parts and just put it right back to stock and super minty. But after test riding a 2019 ZX6R stunt bike, kind of made me realize, like, I'm known for being a stunt rider. I'm not a racer dude. And that 19 was such a dream to ride. So a lot of you guys are probably thinking, since Dank just crashed his bike, it's guaranteed it's gonna be a stunt bike. Which, kinda, I think this bike was bound to be a stunt bike. Just crashing it kind of sped the process up a little bit. And truthfully, I think this is pretty much what I need, you know? Just to have a nice clean stunt bike. But on the plus side, I will be on the hunt for a 1000cc stock bike to replace my ZX6R that I cruise around on the streets. And that way we'll have 2 stunt bikes ready to go, and then a stock bike that we can cruise around and do story time and stuff like that on. So yeah, let's get into it and see how fucked up my bike is. Alrighty guys, here she is. Oh man. So I mean, first thoughts, I think I'm super lucky as far as how the damages look. Cosmetically, she looks pretty damn solid for doing a front flip. The biggest thing that I've noticed is the subframe is broken. The rear seat's supposed to slide in like so, but I think I bent this way too much. I think it's supposed to be like straight. Looks like it's been like warped and bent. The guy that went ahead and did the giveaway bike seats, I'm gonna ship him this seat just to see if he can do anything with it. But I'll most likely have to buy another rear seat. Subframe is broken. This is where it impacted my shoulder. Basically broke the back half. And my buddy Roland just set up his 19 into a stunt bike, so I was gonna originally ask him for the stock back half since he went and got an aftermarket subframe. But since I'm going the stunt bike route, I'm just gonna junk this. But you can see right here, like the lock mechanism went ahead and broke. Other than that, just one little broken fairing right here. So the bike landed on its right side. So the left-hand side, as far as fairings go, are all minty still. They look good. So I'll just need to go ahead and get this side fairing right here. Working my way down. This is cracked right here. But I think being a stunt bike, that'll be okay for now. The whole right side fairings are all solid still. We got a bent right clip on. Front brake seems solid still, maybe. I got a new slogan for Moto. Brakes so good, make you do front flips. This is the crazy part, people. But my headlight and everything is still in mint condition, which I'm super thankful for. Like, I was pretty bummed because the gas tank does have a dent in it. But looking up the price of the gas tank versus looking up the price of this whole front end, this is so much more expensive than if I just had to replace the gas tank. So luckily the whole front end's solid, and I don't want to take any of this apart anyways, and I can just focus on doing something with the gas tank. The gas tank's about $800 from factory, and this one hurt me pretty good. My acro pipe, man, God. Passenger peg's broken off, and then the acro pipe actually smacked the swing arm and put a dent in it too. Overall, all I can really tell without tearing it down is the back half of the subframe is broken, the rear seat is bent and unusable possibly. The acro pipe scratched up but still usable. Gas tank has a dent. Right clip on is pretty tweaked and bent and useless. Front brakes still work, thankfully. Got really lucky with all this stuff. Like, I cannot stress this to you guys. Like, I did a front flip on the bike and everything's still solid. Windscreen has some scratches on it, but that's no biggie. Overall, like, it might look a little bad to you guys. I'm really thankful for the lightness of damage that I have, considering the type of crash that I had. Even though I was going like 10-15 miles an hour when I impacted them, the bike did so well as far as not destroying itself. We're gonna bring it back to life and be doing some wheelies on her soon enough. This video irks me to have to make people like, I get. Needs me to make guys. I get so many compliments on my 19. You guys are always asking me updates on it, and it's really sad to let you guys know that I crashed it, and especially the way I crashed it. Usually when I crash, I'm doing something stupid, but something so crazy and freak accident like that is just, it's like mind-blowing. It really humbles you as a rider as far as being in a situation like that and not being able to execute a way to get out of it. But everything in life happens for a reason. My boy that stopped mid-turn, I didn't blame him for the accident, because at the end of the day, I'm the one that decided to get on the bike and go ride that night. So that's just the way the cookie crumbles. I've had the bike for 7 months now, and I've taken care of it all the way up to this point. But finally, I get a chance to make my dream bike into a stunt bike. Rather than sit there and feel miserable about the bike and the condition that it's in right now, I'm already brainstorming some parts to get on this bike so we can turn it into a super nice stunt bike. Because having my 15 was a really nice challenge as far as adapting to it. But my 0304 is a really simplistic bike to ride and practice on, but I really want the 19 to take my skill to the next level. I think it'll be a really great addition to the channel, having that bike all set up for us to ride. Getting back to the giveaway bike, guys, my Patreon, patreon.com/DankWheelie. It's basically where I have the community of my build team go ahead and pitch in money every month for this giveaway bike that we're working on. At the end of the build, I'm gonna go ahead and randomly select one of the Patreons to win this bike before I thrash it and turn it into what my 19's looking like. So it'll be a super minty 2018 ZX6R with all the best stunt parts. But I hope you guys can join. Just click the link in the description, Patreon, if you guys want to join. Just to let you guys know, I appreciate my Patreon team being so patient, waiting on this steel frame as if I'm sandbagging on this build, but it's literally driving me crazy, people. I want to get this build started, especially now that we have all the parts. Even though the bike has nothing put on it yet, I can kind of start to see an ending to this build series now that I see all the parts in front of me besides the frame that we're waiting on. I'm trying to keep a good relationship with the frame builder and not freak out on him, and he understands how stressed I am as far as wanting to get this build started for myself and everyone else involved with it. It's about being patient, people, and patience is definitely a virtue. So let me know your guys' feedback. Turning a 19 to a stunt build. Yeah, there's probably a lot of stuff to talk about in this video, guys. Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions on everything going on today. Let me know if you have any questions on anything I didn't update you guys on. But yeah, just appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm in a weird spot right now where I'm just posting a bunch of random content, getting my schedule for 2020 all together, as far as traveling and events and everything else that I'm going to be doing. But love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Other than that, feel free to like, comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel. And like always, keep it dank. Later.
Yeah, I like to keep it mellow. I smoke and keep it mellow. I drink and